from Sea of Thieves release, let's get predictions. Do we think it will be a huge success? Do we think it will be meh? I
think it'll be a huge success.
Obviously, we all hope it will be a huge success. But Jordan, you think it will be a huge success?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's different and fun. Well, and it's like really the only true pirate game out there right now. And I mean like true pirate. Like the point of the game is to become a pirate legend.
This is true.
Like that's the campaign. Become a pirate legend.
My concern in playing the beta, and I recognize that the beta is not full. Obviously, it's not full release. There's not everything in there. It's very, very limited in what you can do. But my concern is that there's not a lot to do. Like besides the tomfoolery that we had, my concern is what more is there, and when they bring that, and I know they've had the videos, and I watched the videos of what more there actually is, but when they bring that in, is it enough to hook me and keep a player base online consistently over time?
I think it can
keep it fun.
It has potential to, yeah. I mean, because we just, what was it, like 2 weeks ago, we just found out about the quote-unquote pirate raid, skeleton raid.
Yeah, which is in this beta.
It is?
They're saying you'll see the dark clouds over the skeleton islands, and you can go and get loot and progress your pirate legend.
That right there, that shows potential to get loot that you can't necessarily get otherwise. You know, what essentially a raid does is it's very hard, and you do it so you can get better gear, right?
Yeah.
So that right there has potential to make this a gear game, kind of, kind of a... just like a Diablo or whatever, or even Destiny or any of those type of games, which will keep a lot of people satisfied for a long time.
Yeah,
if they do it right. Unless they're like Destiny, where you can get it all in a week and a half.
Yeah, which would be
Destiny 2, I mean. So.
Yeah. Yes, and that's my concern. It just is there enough there? Do they do it correctly?
Yeah.
Is probably because I'm sure they plan enough, but do they do it correctly? Because if they don't, that game will be big for a week or two, and then it'll fizzle away into no man's land, unfortunately.
It has potential. So we just have to, in a week and a half, we'll have to play it and find out.
Mr. McSpicy, Jordan's leaning yes. He thinks they've done it right, that it will be successful. Do you think that it will be successful? I mean, obviously, this is a shot in the dark. It's solely our opinion, our intuition.
So the question is, do I
Sea
think...
of Thieves. Do we think it's going to be the next big thing?
The next big thing? I hope so.
Sure.
They have some things. I mean, with the betas, we have purposefully been held back from everything we could see, which a lot of the criticism is there's not a lot to do after that initial let's be pirates on a ship, which, by the way, that is awesome because
so fun.
Stories are created just by that atmosphere.
Organic stories.
Yeah, which is great. How long that'll last, if there's nothing else, maybe a week or two. But if they have that loot grab, if they have the options to progress further, the raids, the skeleton raids, the leveling up system, which I see, what I really like to see, and I think it exists, is the instruments, leveling those up and being able to play different songs and emotes as you unlock and as you progress as well. Because like the hurdy-gurdy is like one of my favorite instruments now because of this game.
That is hilarious.
I love pulling out that hurdy-gurdy and standing,
just cranking it
while everyone's working on ship, and I'm just cranking that hurdy-gurdy.
Well, and remember, like you said, it was just a beta. You know what I mean? Like like betas are not demos. I think betas and demos nowadays, especially,
two different
get
things.
Confused a lot.
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
Betas are not demos.
They're supposed to be broken so they can fix them.
Yeah, and they're supposed to only have certain features because you have to try those features.
I'll tell you another concern that I have about Sea of Thieves. The fighting on the ships is what we wanted to do when we were in there, fighting against other ships, taking them over. That was some of the funnest things that we had doing it. Skull of Bones by Ubisoft is coming out, and that game is solely focused on sea fighting. Fighting with ships. But can it be overtaken? If that's the funnest part of Sea of Thieves, if that ends up being the funnest part of Sea of Thieves, does a game like Skull and Bones from Ubisoft come out where that's the focus, that's its bread and butter, and it's only focused on that, and do better than Sea of Thieves? That is a concern that I have.
Skull and Bones is strictly sea battles, right?
Strictly sea battles.
Sea of Thieves is the whole pirate package. I feel like you got more to do. You know what I mean? Like
the entire pirate package,
or PP.
Well, no, I feel like. Well, I mean, I feel like they're almost two different games. Sea of Thieves is really more like a pirate role playing game that does have the battle feature, right? Whereas Skull and Bones is just battling. You know what I mean? I'm
No,
sure
right.
they'll have the campaign or whatever. You know what
Obviously,
I mean? Like,
but my concern is that the battle in Sea of Thieves is the funnest part of that game, and if a game is coming out by Ubisoft and that's the only focus, this is on this funnest aspect, it could be overshadowed eventually.
Yeah, but I don't. I think it depends on the person. You know what I mean? Because like the funnest aspect could. I mean, we had a ton of fun.
Well, see, that's all we had in the beta. So that's kind of disingenuous to say on the beta that it's the only thing that's fun because that's the only thing we've had.
No, but my concern is, what if that is the funnest thing to do out of everything that they have in there? Sea battles is still what everybody wants to jump in to do. If it is the case, when a Skull and Bones comes out, it could be overshadowed in the long run. That's just a concern. I mean, it might not be the funnest thing.
Yeah, it just depends on how they do it.
Yeah,
you know, if it's rewarded, and it's how the battles take place.
In Skull and Bones, you can't shoot yourself across the ship.
This is true.
And in Sea of Thieves,
I never made a shot.
Yeah,
what the hell? It was so hard.
Well, honestly, it really depends. I think it depends on the detail they put in the game. Because Sea of Thieves, what's so cool and fun about it is the fact that the ocean played such a huge role. In Skull and Bones, is it going to be as similar?
I would imagine you
have
to.
Another major factor you got to think of is we can actually log in and play Sea of Thieves, whereas Ubisoft doesn't have the best track record
for network game, for multiplayer. That's
especially at first.
That's actually a valid point.
I mean, eventually over time, Ubisoft does a pretty decent job of supporting this game. It's just on the only one that these exceptions are Rainbow Six.
No, Rainbow Six. Well, but Rainbow Six did have a little rocky start, but they were the best. I feel like.
Yeah.